So, your boy had double booked, you know what I mean? So,
so we'll make sure he talks to both audiences with no problem.
So we're going to do a special edition of the workshop, meaning it's going to be a combination of me, obviously, how I would present in a community setting, right, on a virtual stage. But then also I'm going to give you all of the podcast game. And then I don't know if Lorie's going to be controlling as far as people's hands and being able to ask questions. But I want you to be able to ask questions in real time. This is not a lecture. It's not a situation where you need to hold all the questions to the end. If I say something, if you're feeling something, you got a question about something, ask me as I'm going over it. So then we can make sure that you get you get what you need at that point, and then we'll move on. So yeah, that's all I got for right now.
Oh, all right. Thank you, sir. So for those that are following on Wisdom or the Instagram app, make sure that if you want to check into the actual live Zoom and you want to join us right here in the community, make sure that you check the pin link, which is my Linktree link. Go to my bio, check that out. It's the first button so that you can register for the link. You don't want to miss this information so you can get up close with Mr. Brendan Boyd. So wanted to leave that to you. I'll leave this up for sure so that you guys can make sure you tap in. But I wanted you guys to start thinking about podcasting. Got some things started, share the video. This is a huge, huge industry that we've got millions of people tapping into. And I want you to start thinking about podcasting. I want you to start thinking about what were you doing in 2020? Were you on Clubhouse? Were you on Wisdom? Were you taking advantage of that audio listening where you were listening and trying to get educated on something brand new? Well, that's not when podcasting was born, but that is when you started to see a huge influx of podcasters coming to share their message. At this moment now, in 2023, at the beginning of the year, there are over 400 million podcast listeners. That's a lot of people. So I want you to think about your message and how can you be the authority in your market. You can't just do seminars just like we used to do. Now you've got over 400 million people that are actually listening and waiting to hear your message. So the question is, when are you going to begin your podcast and become the authority in your markets? All right. So I wanted to introduce the gentleman today who you've already spoke to a little bit. Brendan Boyd is a digital entrepreneur. He is a podcaster himself, and he helps fellow podcasters learn everything about the podcasting industry, mainly how to monetize without an audience, without doing deal brands, and without sponsorships. That's huge. So if you are looking to get that and you're thinking, I want to get my podcast started, I don't know how, I don't know where to get started, this is going to be the gentleman that is going to take you to that place. So Brendan Boyd, he's going to talk to the folks. He loves talking to men and women, especially of color, to help them monetize their brand using podcasts. So Brendan, take it away, sir.
Man, can I just hire you to do my intro?
Anytime, baby, anytime.
Can I take you on a roll with me?
Anytime.
That was kind of fire, actually. I really appreciate that. So thank you. So yeah, Lorie, thanks for giving me the opportunity to connect with your community and also connect with everyone who is brand new to your community. Maybe maybe you just came here from a link or an email or text message. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us right now on this virtual platform. So I want to give thanks and gratitude and just say Happy New Year again to everyone. And, just welcome to this special edition to Podcaster Profits Workshop. So how I like to flow, for those that don't know me, I like to really engage, right? I like people to ask questions in real time. If you ever had the opportunity to see me in person when I present and speak, I like to be, one with the people, right? I don't like to lecture. I don't like to stand above people. I really like to be in the mix with everyone. So what that means is I want you to engage. I want you to ask questions. I want you to, if anything hits you emotionally, if anything, sparks a question, if anything sparks an idea, drop it in the chat, and then, Lorie can answer it, or she can, designate it to me and I'll answer it. But I want to make sure you guys get a lot of gain from today. I don't want you to leave here with any confusion. I want you to leave here with a gang of clarity. And I want you to feel more confident if you are currently podcasting, but aren't really monetizing. Or if you're like, you know what, like Beverly said earlier, she needs a platform. Maybe that's true. Maybe you need a platform and maybe you're ready to launch it ASAP, right? So I want to make sure that you leave here with that confidence. So if you have a podcast right now, drop it in the chat. Drop a yes in the chat if you got a pod. If you do not have a podcast, but would like to have one, drop a no in the chat. And Lorie, I know you had a couple of questions, so you can ask me questions whenever. We can start off with those, or you can just kind of like bounce it, throughout the workshop, however you want to do it. Special edition. So we're just gonna, we're gonna be active. We're gonna be really active. All right, guys. So one of the questions that I know Lorie had asked me earlier, she was talking about like why do I feel like having a podcast is important? So I want to kind of start off with that, then we're going to jump into the workshop. So first of all, there's a lot of people saying yes, so congratulations, right? So for those that said yes, how many of the yeses are actually making money with your podcast? So everyone that said yes, drop money if you're making money with the podcast. For those that said no, how would you like to start your podcast with an understanding that I can make money from episode 1? Because there's a lot of podcasters right now that got 50, 100 episodes not making no money. So if you currently have a podcast, drop the word money if you're making money. And if you said no and don't have a podcast, how would you like to launch your show and make some bread from as soon as episode 1? All right, so I feel like everyone could take advantage of a podcast because it's your platform. It's almost like your birthright, right? Ask Cash, if you're familiar with Ask Cash in the vault, one of his most popular saying is, abundance is your birthright. I feel like you having a platform is your right. It's your birthright. It is literally your stage. And it's a great opportunity for you to leverage that stage to create business, partnerships, relationships, leverage, collaborations. I'm just gonna let you know like this. 2018, I was in a room in my real estate office with one of my best friends, and I was like, damn, I have no millionaire friends. I need some millionaire friends. How can I get some millionaire friends? Fast forward, I got over a dozen. And it's because of the power of the podcast. I created a stage, and it created instant leverage. And with this instant leverage, I was able to create relationships intentionally with people that I wanted to connect with. And all you guys can do the same thing. My cameras, I made thousands of dollars with my cameras, right? And also with just a virtual, platforms like StreamYard and Riverside FM. There's some things that we'll talk about. But I'm gonna let you know, people love to talk about themselves. People love to share what they got going on. People love to be in a position where they can let everyone know about, what they have, what they got going on, what's coming. So if you have a platform, offering that is a key strategy to leverage to build business, right? To also filter, right? Because you can do that in exchange and find out, which we'll talk about. This is a strategy called reverse pitching, but you can pre-frame a guest, and that guest could be a good fit for a product or service that you offer. But guess what? Because you have the platform, it's easy for you to do that because everyone wants to come on your part. Let's just by show of hands, or you could drop it in the chat. If I invited you guys to come on this show, how many people would want to come on my podcast? Right? If I was like, listen, anyone that wants to come on the podcast, you can come on. How many people would want to come on? Raise your hand or drop it in the chat. Is there anyone that would not want to come? If you would not want to come, drop that in the chat. And the reason why I say that is because everyone understands the power of the platform. I probably not seeing any no's here. So if all you guys would, or the majority of you men and women out here would say yes or take me up on that opportunity, think about how many people you are not taking up on that opportunity because you don't have a platform, or maybe you're not asking enough people, or maybe you haven't launched your show. So many different opportunities, so many different ways to generate revenue, so many collaborations, partnerships, it's endless of what you can do with that. So I just kind of wanted to break that down. So before we get into the workshop and go through these slides, are there any initial questions. Did anyone come here with any questions at all? It was something burning in your mind or burning in your pocket, burning in your iPhone or your iPad that you just had to ask. Or maybe you have a friend of yours that couldn't join. It was like, yo, can you ask this question because I need to know. Anyone have any preliminary questions before we get busy?
I got one. I think before equipment and everything, to talk about equipment, I think most people need to kind of find out what are the first steps needed to even begin it with an idea.
Yeah, so that's a great question. So before you think about software, before you think about equipment, you want to think about, what do you want to converse about? What type of show do you want to have? Right? Is it a show that's going to kind of be connected to a product or service that you have? Maybe you're a realtor and you're like, you know what? I want to talk about the real estate industry and I kind of want to break down concepts. I want to bring on different vendors and different real estate partners. And, I want to talk about wholesaling. I want to talk about hardscaping. I want to talk about, hard money lending. I want to talk about how do you make money in real estate when the market is shifting, right? You have that platform. You can bring on all these different people and then maybe your show becomes a virtual stage or audio or visual stage for people to come and learn all things real estate. And guess what? You are that expert. You are that specialist. Now you're warming up the crowd. You're creating an audience, and you are the one that they're going to come to because they know it's Kirby's show. Let's just say the Kirby show, all things real estate, right? Maybe you are a cook. Right? Maybe you're a cook and you want to tell people all about, an easy way to make meals in 10 minutes. Maybe that's what you want to do, but you haven't really been able to cut through. Well, if you created a show, 10-minute meals, and then every episode you broke down how you can make, a breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, complex meals, foreign meals, domestic meals, maybe how you can remix, leftovers. And it was a 10-minute show and it was just you. And then occasionally you brought on maybe a chef or, a pastry chef or, you just highlighted a couple of folks. That's an amazing opportunity for you to take what you got going on to the next level. So answering what Lorie asked, you have to first think about, what is my concept? What do I want to talk about? Right? Do I want to expound on what I have going on, or do I want to create an opportunity for the marketplace, or do I really want to learn about? Let's say I really want to learn about economics. Your show could be about economics, and you can literally intentionally invite over 6, 7, 8-figure earners, right? Economists, right? Everyone who's in a whole nother industry, you can reverse engineer your learning and give them a platform, but it's going to take advantage of the opportunity. So you can literally learn with every single episode, but by you learning, you're able to teach and share and provide the information to other people. Like, that's so smart, right? So what do you want your show to be about? Now, once you have an idea what your show is going to be about, then you have to think about, how do you envision your show? Do you have an audio show in mind? Do you have an in-person show? Is it virtual? Is it a combination of all three? My show is the Imperfect Action Show, which is a virtual morning show, right? I use that to connect with people all over the world, and I'll tell you exactly why I created that. But my main podcast is called Pursuit Podcast, On a Pursuit, and it's in person. And I like to travel. I got mobile equipment, and I downsized through just testing and everything. I had everything, y'all. I was going to interview people at hotels with 5 bags. I went from 5 bags down to 1. Like, I figured out, I figured the whole thing out, right? So you have to think about, what type of experience do you want to have? The easiest experience that you can create is virtual. And that virtual show can double as audio and virtual. And you can use one platform to provide both files. And then those files you can put on the podcast audio platforms, and you can upload to YouTube, right? And you can also live stream the show if you want it to be a live show. Maybe you want to kind of like touch the people, and you want to show that that's going to be in person. You can still have the live element, right? I mean, you can still have the audio element is what I meant to say. You still have the audio element, but maybe you want to make sure that it's produced and it has nice commercials, intro, outro animations, and live reads and all of that, right? And maybe that's the flow that you want to do. So you have to first identify, what do you want to talk about? What do you want to cover? What type of show is something that makes sense for you and your style, and something you can manage and maintain and do consistently. That's very important, because if you want to do a in-person and it sounds great, but you don't really have the consistency right now, because maybe you got a lot of things going on for you to do a in-person show over and over and over, maybe virtual makes the most sense, because all you got to do is set it up. Right now we're on virtual laptop mic. You don't even need a mic, but if you can plug in a mic, or you can use the internal mic, and then you're ready to go. You could do it from anywhere. So really just kind of understanding your flow. Once you decide on the direction and then a flow, you just get the equipment, right? And with the equipment, we're talking about, you need a podcast host, right? That's like a Buzzsprout, Podbeam, something like that, Red Circle, Riverside, right? And then you want a platform that you can actually do the podcast on. So Riverside provides that service as well. So does Red Circle. I like to use StreamYard personally, right? I like to use Stream. You could even use Zoom. There's a lot of different options, but that's all you need. You just need a platform to shoot it and one to host it. And some of them you're able to do both, right? Some of them have the opportunity to do both. So hopefully that answered your initial questions, Lorie.
Yeah,
I'm super excited to jump on in.
You're saying StreamYard and Zoom you can use to record your sessions, you mean?
100%.
Yeah, I did Zoom, and I wasn't overthinking it, y'all, because last year I said, I'm going to start my podcast. And you got to remember, when you record on Zoom, you can get the video, and then you also get the audio link. So you pretty much have the podcast, so you can just sit there in your living room and really just record right here, and no one has to really be right in front of you. And you get the audio piece and you get the separate video piece as well. So if you can drop those other ones, I use Anchor, Marlena, I use Anchor to upload mine. So what are some other sites that they can upload the audio to?
Oh, I love, personally, I'm a Buzzsprout fan. I like Buzzsprout a lot, and I like StreamYard. So on StreamYard, I do it primarily for my virtual show. And what I do is I shoot it on StreamYard and I do it live. When the live feed's over, it automatically saves on YouTube. I can download both files, right? And then I can take the audio file and I can upload through Buzzsprout, and it'll go via the RSS feed everywhere, right? When I do my in-person show, the files get edited. I send it to my editor. They'll break everything down. I get the files back. I upload the audio into Buzzsprout. I'll upload the video into YouTube, right? So that's why I like those. Red Circle is a nice platform that allows you to do everything in one, and so is Riverside. So I'm gonna drop those down as well. You guys can check those out. Red Circle and then Riverside. Let me get that, Riverside FM. So
what's the difference between virtual and audio? Jerron had a question.
Okay, so Jerron, virtual is this is virtual, right? Anything that's online would be virtual. Audio is if everyone turned off their cameras right now and you couldn't see anything, you can only hear something. Audio would be Spotify, Google, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher. Those are all audio platforms.
Good question.
Lanice says, how user-friendly are these sites? Riverside is super user-friendly. Buzzsprout is super user-friendly. The learning curve for these are not that crazy at all.
I use Anchor, and I'm not technically smart, so I'm saying it was pretty simple to upload.
The only reason why I don't personally use Anchor is because it's an extra step, right? So if you're using what I was gonna say, if you're using, let's say, StreamYard or Riverside, or if you're using Red Circle, right? It eliminates the step. So you don't have to take it out and then put it on Anchor. Riverside and Red Circle, you could do it inside. You know what I mean? But Buzzsprout, which I really like, because you can do the live stream effect as well. You have to StreamYard, what I really like, because you can do the live as well. You can just upload it in Buzzsprout. It's super fast. It'll take that file and upload it in like 2 minutes, Like it's super quick. But with all of these options, it just goes to show there's no right and there's no wrong. You can find whatever softwares work best for you, whatever budget you have. As long as it gets out to the audio podcast platforms and you have a virtual or in-person recording that you want to put on YouTube, you're good to go. There's no right or wrong. As long as it goes out, it's a good show, people can experience it. That's all that matters, right? Because I might have some softwares I like. Lorie has softwares that she's like. My guy Don is in here. He might have some software that he really likes. You know what I mean? So it really doesn't make a difference as long as you find some softwares that work for you. Now, if you want to use something that I have going on, something that Lorie has going on, obviously we're doing it in real time. So you can always model what we have going on, but there's no right or wrong there. So Jerron says, so virtual is like live Zoom video, and yeah, 100%. So there's a difference between live and then recorded virtual though, just so you know. Like this is live, but it's recorded. So when Lorie puts this up, it's gonna be a virtual recording. But live streaming is totally different. You do not have to have a podcast that's live streaming. You can 100% have a podcast that's just a pre-recorded virtual situation. You do not have to live stream it. It's just up to you. I have a live stream on my morning show because I want people to ask the guests questions. That's just my flow. And then when they rewatch it, they can rewatch it with the questions that the guests are asking on YouTube. But if you don't want to do a live show because maybe you get a little stage fright, maybe you want to edit, maybe you want to add in some elements or whatever, it's really whatever you would like to do. It's 100% up to you. All right. So if there's not any other questions, I could get down to the meat and potatoes. How you feeling?
Let's go. We're good. We got the topics. You kind of figure out what your niche, what your audience is, who you're going to talk to.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing that we really got into. And then, of course, he dropped a few of the platforms where you can record your talk or your actual video. And then, of course, the places where you can actually house and host it. So we're good. Let's keep it rolling.
All right, cool. So I'm sharing my screen right now. So hopefully you guys can share the screen. It says Podcast and Profits Workshop. It should say special edition because that's what that is. Lorie, I can't see the chat anymore. So if there are questions coming up, just make sure you let me know what's going on with them and I'll be sure to touch base with them.
Okay.
All right. All right, guys. So look, I know I talked about this earlier, so I want to reiterate, this is not another workshop. As you can see how we started, I'm going to give you heavy game here. I want you to leave here with some value and some true understanding of what's going on. This is another check for you to take notes, okay? Get a pen, paper, iPad, iPhone, whatever you need, laptop. Make sure you have your tools so you can actually catch these gems, because active learning is very important. When you hear something and you're writing it down, you're going to be able to remember it a little bit better. So make sure you have your tools, right? Now, note takers are money makers, and great note takers make a lot of money. I'm gonna just keep it real. Note takers are money makers, and heavy note takers make bread. So you want to make sure that you have what you need to catch these gems, right? So this may be where you are. You may be a podcaster right now that got a show, not making no money, so there's a hole in your bridge. Maybe you're a podcaster that has a show making a little bit of money, so you got a hole in your bridge. Maybe you're a podcaster that's making some bank and you want to make more, so there's some information you're missing, right? Maybe you haven't started your show and you want to start off on a right foot. This is a great place. So maybe that's what's missing in your bridge. Or maybe you're somebody that has a podcast, been rocking with episodes, but haven't figured out how to monetize. We hope to fill in this gap right here with you today. We want you to leave here with either, the information to get you from one side of the bridge to the other, or it's going to fill in the gap a little bit more and make it a little bit more clear for you, right? That's my objective, right? So in our small time that we have today, my goal is to make sure that you have confidence, right? Where there's some uncertainty, that you have some clarity where there's confusion. And like I said, this is a special addition to the workshop, so you can ask me questions in real time, right? I'm going to show you step by step how I've been able to do what I'm doing currently in real time, right? Getting paid for podcasting. And I hope that you model and replicate what I'm going to share with you now. That's going to teach you how you can make money with your podcast, right? And by teaching you how to start or position your show to generate revenue. So basically, there's people right now that are making money with their podcast. making money right now in the podcast space, and they're not better than you. Their podcasts, their topics are not better than your topics. They just been able to position themselves intentionally to allow the money to flow. And I'm going to break down and share some concepts and secrets on how they've been able to do that, so you can do it too. So I just need you guys to make a commitment, whatever the time that we have left, that you're going to lock in. You're going to take notes. You're going to be active as you can. And then once you take these notes, you're going to apply these notes as soon as possible, right? Now, take a screenshot of this. This is very important. Success loves speed. Imperfect action creates momentum. Momentum creates results. Results produce lessons, and we use the lessons and consistency to create success, okay? Take a screenshot. I'm just going to run that back one time. Success loves speed. Any high producing entrepreneur will tell you that. Success loves speed. Imperfect action, not overthinking it. Imperfect action creates the momentum. Now, momentum is like inertia, right? When things move, they move. When things aren't moving, they're not moving. So momentum will create results. Now it's up to you to dissect those results, because those results will produce lessons. They're either going to be lessons that are positive, lessons that are not necessarily negative, but just lessons that bring some obstacles. And then we're going to use those lessons plus the idea that I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to quit. My podcast is coming out every Wednesday, or my morning show is coming out every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or my show comes out every Friday. We're going to use whatever our cadence and consistency is to create the success that we're going to design for ourselves. So make sure that you take a screenshot of this. This is a great affirmation that you can apply to whatever you have going on, but this is also a really great affirmation for you to apply in the podcast space, okay? Now, do we have a deal? If you are going to use that information that I just showed you, just let me know right now. Just drop the word deal in the chat. Lorie, you can let me know if people are dropping some deals, okay? Now,
yes,
I'm going to be very, very blunt here, okay? I love it that you guys are here, but this workshop is for one type of person, and I'm going to break it down. And there's also some people that it's not for. So once I go over who it's not for, if you need to go, I understand. I'm not sending you away, but I just really want to make sure that you understand what you're getting yourself into with this information, okay? So this workshop is for current podcast entrepreneurs who already launched a show, but growing and monetizing have been slow. Also for business owners who desire a podcast to support their product or service and want to grow an audience, become an authority, and generate revenue. Casual podcasters currently operating their podcast as a side hustle or a hobby and looking to take their show more seriously and build a business out of it. Or also podcast entrepreneurs who are ready to learn, grow their podcast business. So if you are any one of these people, you are in the right place. Now, this is who it's not for. And again, if this is you, there's no offense taken. I just want to make sure that your time is well spent. This is not for casual podcasters who are only looking to operate their podcast as a side hustle or a hobby and don't desire to build a business. This is not for podcasters who do not care about monetizing. This is not for podcasters who are afraid of monetizing. This is not for podcasters who aren't willing to invest in themselves and their show. And that could be time, effort, and money. It's not always money. It's time and effort, right? It's not for podcasters who are not willing to put in the work to grow their business. And anyone who cannot seem to focus or commit, this information is not going to work for you. So I just wanted to kind of get that out in the open, all right? So if no one left, y'all are all in a great spot, right? So what you guys are going to learn: how to easily monetize your podcast profitably without a large audience, how to position your podcast to gross 5 to 6 figures, how to easily provide value to guests and get paid by doing it, and how to turn your podcast into a media business, and how to leverage that media business in your podcast to build a tremendous network like I have been able to do and how I am continuously doing. All right, now the reality is you guys have put a show together, you secured your guests, did the research, edit, publish, you posted, and you promoted your podcast, but you haven't really figured out how to monetize. So it either cost you money, right, or it made you money. You spent 60 minutes, 90 minutes, sometimes even 2 hours with your guests, provide a lot of value, but you haven't really figured out how to leverage that. So that's the challenge, all right? And if you're providing massive value, I truly believe that you deserve to be compensated personally. So here's 3 common myths that stop podcasters from making money. Number 1 is thinking that you need a large audience, thinking that you need to learn how to sell, and thinking that you need sponsorships, brand deals, a large audience, or even YouTube to start making money. How many people in the chat, just be honest, if you think I need to get my YouTube to monetization but so I can make some money? How many people think they need a YouTube that's making money, 1,000 watch hours, 4,000 subscribers before I can make money? How many people have thought that? Just drop it in the chat. How many people are anxious about asking for a sale, about selling? How many people don't like selling? Drop that in the chat. One thing I want to gift you guys with is the idea of trading the mindset around selling and the thought process, right? The words of selling, right? Trade those in for asking and sharing. So if you can ask more customers about how you can provide value and what they need, and if you could share more about your product and service and how the value that it will create, you will actually do more sales because you're not selling, you're actually asking and sharing. So these are for everyone out there that may feel a little bit of unease when it comes to actually asking for the sale. I want to give you guys that. So my promise today is to provide clarity on the 4 fundamental ways to position your podcast to become profitable. You will have more confidence to build your business and grow your income, audience, and authority. You will learn how to create passive income streams with your show. You will learn how to build more confidence and authority. You will have a greater understanding of how to turn your podcast into a media business. Do we have any questions thus far, Lorie? Let me know.
No, we're ready.
Is everybody good to go? Everybody good?
They're ready. They're ready to see how you can use that description box.
All right, so let me know if this sounds like you. You haven't been able to monetize and can't figure out now how. Drop it in the chat, yes, if any of these sound like you. You haven't been consistent with your podcast. You don't have a structure. You haven't learned how to create passive income streams with the podcast. And you've been a little discouraged because you think you need brand deals, sponsorships for a large audience, and none of it have been knocking at your door. If that sounds like you, just drop it in the chat. The breaking news is monetize your podcast is way easier than you think. Growing an engaged, focused audience is also easier than you think. It is not your fault if you don't know this information. I'm going to break it down to an easy to follow blueprint, right? I personally believe that anyone who doesn't have a podcast right now can use these strategies that you're going to learn today and position yourself to be able to monetize immediately, right? Because it's a system that you can learn, follow, and model as well as implement, right? So right now, this is me next to a couple of multi-millionaire podcasters, right? This is Wallow and Gilly. They didn't just start off with a podcast that was pop, lock, and dropping. No, they put in the work. But beforehand, a lot of the leverage they had was they were able to leverage their relationships and bring it into a platform. And maybe that's what you guys can do. Maybe you're sitting on existing relationships that you can bring in that are valuable, right? That you can add to your situation. But what do they say, right? Wallow always says information changes situations. And I want to ask them to that. It's applied information that changes situations. So now that you guys are going to be more informative of what's going on, you can use the information, the keys, the gems, the strategies that you get today and actually implement it so you can get a result. All right. Here am I with another 7-figure podcaster. This is Ask Cash. I mentioned him earlier, right? Abundance is your birthright. So Ask Cash always talks about that, you know, it is our birthright to be wealthy, right? But again, what has he been able to do? He has been able to take his influence, he's been able to take his relationships and his networking and put it on a platform and then leverage the platform to get paid. So these guys are just testaments to show you that you can do it too. Now, you don't have to be 7-figure podcasters to make revenue. You can be a 4-figure podcaster and make some money because there's so many podcasts out here that are not making money. Drop it in the chat right now. If you can make an extra $500 just from podcasting, talking and sharing, what would you be able to do with that? Would an extra $500 be excited for you by just having a podcast, which is only 3 figures? But if you were making 3 figures just for talking on your show, let me know if you would be happy with that. If somebody can make $500 a month that was predictable from your podcast, drop it in the chat. Would you be happy with that? I need to know. Lorie, let me.
Yeah, these are for all the ones that got in trouble for talking in school. So now you actually get paid for talking now on your own platform.
100%. This is one of my coaches, Neo, same thing, right? He has a podcast as well. He was being able to leverage that tremendously, right? When people pay attention, right now, I'm going to be asking you guys to send me a virtual 5K because I want to make sure you locked in. Right now, this is a screenshot of one of my clients that paid me $5K for a one-on-one consultation. And that's literally the receipt right there. So I want you guys to drop 5K in the chat. I want you to give me a virtual payment of 5K, because that is going to show me that you are committed to pay attention to the rest of this workshop. You're going to use this information, because now that you actually sent over some digital digits, you a little bit more perky right now. Let me know if we got a deal. Let me know.
That was the easiest check anybody could write. They're all
drop them 5Ks in the chat. All right. How we get here? Quick little backstory. This is me, right? I started a clothing company 2005 officially, but you know, all over the world. Look, as you can see, we had everything. We got cut and sew, t-shirts, hats, jeans, right? This is me at 2 different trade shows. This company was about 10 years we operate in the fashion business. And I was able to get the clothes on these people. And some of them you may know, right? This is The Weeknd. You can tell this is old because none of these people look like this anymore. You got The Weeknd, you got Nas, you got J. Cole, you got Chris Brown, you got King Kendrick, you got Chance the Rapper, you got Lil Wayne, you got Wiz. Wiz, look at Wiz. Wiz don't even look like this no more, right? You could tell this was old school, but this is how I got here. What I'm letting you know is I was able to use what I had, my networking skills and my brand as a leverage piece. But what if I had a podcast back then? I could still be using those episodes right now, right? It doesn't matter whether you got a brand. The podcast is an amazing leverage opportunity, right? But just from my brand and my ability to create relationships, I was able, this is just a couple of people that I was able to connect with, right? I even had the brand in a video game, right? Dance Central, he got a hat on, a jacket, a jersey, right? I was able to do good, you know, get the product placement. Then I transitioned to real estate, right? Me selling homes on the East Coast and on the West Coast, right? But I always was into talking to people, building relationships, having a podcast, which I didn't know was a podcast back then. So my show been through a couple of iterations, but I started to realize that during my journey, most podcasters don't generate any money for their shows. They simply don't know how. They lose momentum or stop. They keep going and just never figure out really how to monetize. So I'm gonna let you guys know right now, and I want you to take notes. Episode 7 to episode 15, as you're starting a show, that's known as the podcast graveyard. So right now, everyone that wants to start a show, or maybe you just started a show, you want to make sure you're committing to get to episode 25. So write down the 25 and circle it. 25 will guarantee that you're out of the crosshairs of the podcast graveyard. There's hundreds of thousands of shows that do not get past episode 7 to 15. And I do not want you guys to be in a podcast graveyard because they're just on Spotify right now. There's shows that ain't been popping since 2020. There's shows that ain't been popping in 2018. They're still there. It's pretty sad. We're like, damn, it's been 6 years. This was the last episode, right? You don't want to be in that position. So I need you to put a 25, put a circle around that. That's going to be your first checkpoint if you currently started a show or you want to start a show, all right? Now, I believe with the step-by-step system, it doesn't matter where you live, how much money you have, how much experience that you have, right? Or where on a podcast journey that you're on, you can 100% monetize, right? So with all the information you're going to receive today, if it did nothing else but make an extra $500 to $1,000, let me know, would that be worth your time? Would an extra $500 or $1,000 be worth your time? Drop it in the chat, right? You guys kind of answered the three digit earlier, but if you made an extra $500 or $1,000 with this information, would it be worth your time?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Now, who's ready to execute? That's the question I have for you. I'm gonna share with you a couple of my digital mentors, right? Thoughts become things. If you see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. That's 100% true, right? Someone thought about, I want to launch this show. I want to get these guests on. Next thing you know, it's happening in real life, right? This was a crazy quote by Bob Proctor, right? But Jim Rohn took it a step further. It ain't what you know, it's how you feel about what you know. So when you're mostly connected to something, when you got purpose, when you got drive, when you have a reason behind it, and you're mostly attached to it, the probability of it happening is going to increase. So there's a difference between you saying that you want to do something and then you like, you know what, I really want to do that because if I do that, this is going to happen. Or I'm going to do that because this is connected to this, right? When you have emotions connected to that decision, you're increasing the probability that that's going to happen. All right. Now I'm going to share these 4 powerful secrets with you that's going to allow you to grow and monetize your show immediately. Right. I put a lot of information and effort into this blueprint that I'm going to distill with you guys. So I definitely want to make sure that you are locked in. Right. Now let's get to it. Here's a couple of facts. Lorie gave you one earlier. The global podcast market is over 2 billion. In the US, it's growing. Right now, that number is close to 200 million monthly podcast listeners. 73% of consumers find podcasts through internet searches. So what does that mean? It means you don't have to be a popular host. You don't have to go get crazy guests. If you got the game, you got the information, people will find you because you have what they want. Maybe your podcast is about gardening. Guess what? There's a lot of people that are into gardening. So they're going to find you because they're looking for that information. Joe Rogan has an exclusive podcast deal. One person making over 200 million from Spotify. That just shows you how big the marketplace is. All right. Couple of highest earning podcasters, just so you know. Joe Rogan making over 30 M's. Karen in Georgia, they got a show called My Favorite Murder. They're making over 15 million. Dave Ramsey making over 10 million. This is showing you how big the marketplace is. But if you only make 3 figures or 4 figures, a lot of you guys said you'd be very, very happy with that. I know that I was when I made my first 3 figures. But if just talking, like Lorie said, something that got you in trouble when you were younger can produce something that can make you revenue, I know that you would be excited about that. All right. Now, it may seem like it might be out of reach, right? Those huge multi-million-dollar numbers, but would an extra 8K from your podcast be good? Does that sound doable? Does that sound something that you could achieve? Would an extra 8K do something? If someone was able to get an extra 8K from their podcast, would you be able to leave your job? Would you be able to work less at your job? Would you be able to save more money? Maybe create some revenue for a retirement? What would you be able to do with an extra 8K a month, right? So look, what if your podcast did nothing else but paid your car payment or paid your mortgage? So this was me a year ago getting my Tesla on the left. The right is what it looks like right now. But if I told you that I don't pay for this, it's paid for 100% by my podcast, would you believe me? I mean, what if all it did was pay your mortgage or your rent or your car payment or maybe your insurance? How cool would that be? Right? So what if I told you that I was able to do this with 9 people? What if only 9 people tapped in? Right. Well, let me expound on it. Maybe let's say only 30 people tapped into your show, but 9 people paid you. And because of those 9 people that paid you, you were able to pay your lease. You were able to pay your mortgage. You were able to pay your insurance. 9 people. And you guys can easily do it too. All right. So what if your podcast could pay your car note, your rent, your mortgage, allow you to travel, allow you to put some money away for investment fund or emergency? How amazing would that be? And how much of a difference would that be? Now, podcast is estimated to be $100 billion industry in a couple short years, like 5 short years. But guess what? There's so much room for you with the right information, commitment, and focused effort. You can carve out your space in this marketplace because it's only getting bigger, right? There's no saturation in the podcast because your voice is for your people. Right. And guess what? Podcast viewers and listeners, they have multiple shows that they take in. So there's no competition. There's definitely room for you. All right. Now, this is going to get spicy if you guys didn't already think this is spicy enough. If you have any questions, drop it in the chat. All right. I'm ready to drop secret number 1. Lorie, where we at with everything? Anyone have any questions?
Not yet. Not yet.
All right. So sometimes when I don't hear questions, I take that as a compliment that I'm doing an amazing job. All right. Secret number 1. One of the biggest opportunities to generate revenue with a podcast is with a digital product. Whether 27, 47, or 97, a digital product allows you to leverage every single episode to generate revenue. And it also allows you to create money while you sleep. So what if I told you that you could create a digital product one time and you could generate that revenue while you sleep because you only did it one time? Now, the difference between a physical product and a digital product, and there's nothing wrong with a physical product, you can have that too. But the digital product, I can make one time, I can upload, and that money can keep coming. And I could be traveling. Lorie and I could be on a phone call. I could be on a bus. I could be in my car. I could be on a trip. I could be working, and that money's coming in, right? Coming in. So guess what? With a digital product, like I said, you do it one time, and you can get paid forever. Check out this concept. So my first digital product, I pre-sold, which means you don't even have to have it done. We could talk about that later, but you don't even have to have it done. You can pre-sell it, and in as little as 7 to 30 days, generate revenue. I made $5K on my first pre-sale of my book, right? This is one of my digital products. But what if I told you 22 sales of a digital product for you could bring in your first $1,000? Who right now feels like 22 people could buy some information that they know about your category, your subject, your area of expertise? Drop a 22 in the chat right now where you believe that at least 22 people would be willing to pay $47 for whatever you know. Drop them 22s in the chat. So by you saying that, you're basically saying you can make your first $1,000 podcasting. And there's a lot of people that have never made $1,000 with their podcast. But you just told yourself, you just pre-committed to that possibility happening. And if you're emotionally connected to it, like Jim Rohn said, guess what? It has a higher probability of it actually happening. And what if I told you that all you had to do was create an ebook from me repurposing your podcast content? So for all my podcasters out there right now, you're like, yo, I don't even know how I'm going to do this. What if I told you you could repurpose an episode that you already did? Maybe you're on episode 30, but episode 11 was fire. You're like, man, if I could just take episode 11 and figure out how I could bottle this up and monetize it, I could make some money because episode 11 went crazy. But guess what? You can. So this is your podcast on the left. You grab that link. Download the source file, the actual source file that you uploaded. Take the source file over to audio type. Upload it into audio type. Audio type is going to make a transcription. It's going to make a transcript of your podcast episode. Take the transcript over to Fiverr. Hire somebody to format that, clean it up. Or if you guys haven't been paying attention, you can even go to ChatGPT or other AI files and clean it up. Make it sound amazing. Trim it up, right? Then you take that over to Gumroad. So while your transcript is getting formatted and looking good, you're going to hire somebody else on Fiverr, or you can go to Canva, make a cover, just like my podcast cover on the left. Make a cover for your digital product, pre-sell that cover on Gumroad, 30 days or 60 days, money. Let me run through it. You're gonna take some work that you already did. Favorite podcast episode. Upload the source file on audio type. Take that transcript. Fiverr, find a formatter. Make it look nice. Find somebody else to make you a cover. Take that cover while your book's being formatted and copywritten and edited and all of that, which may take a week or two. Take that cover to Gumroad. With your cover and your title and a link, assign that link a price, $47. Get it to those 22 people that you told me that you could sell. That's $1,000. Now your podcast just made its first 4 figures. Turn your existing episodes for all my podcasters that have a show into money. All my podcasters that don't have a show, you can use this strategy. Or guess what? You don't have to use this strategy. You can use the pre-sale from the cover and the title and the link and come up with your book later in 30 to 60 days. Make the money now and reinvest that into finishing it. This is just a digital product, y'all. You can make the money this month, right now.
I got a question for you.
Let's go.
So for here, you're saying get your spiciest, juiciest topic that you did that's not already circulating all over the internet, right?
Even if it's circulating, let it circulate. Let it circulate and percolate. Take it.
So then you're talking about uploading it, take it to Fiverr so that they can edit it properly.
So what you want to do is take that file, the source file, the same file that you uploaded into your podcast host, that MP4 file, MP3, MP4 file.
Yo.
Upload it into audio type. AudioType will turn that audio file into a transcript.
Mm-hmm.
Then you take that transcript over to Fiverr. Hire 2 people. Someone to make you a cover, right? That looks like, let me see if I got a cover over here somewhere. I know I got one somewhere. Oh yeah. How about make you a cover that's like this, something like this? You know, simple, clean. Go to Amazon, find your favorite book. Maybe go to your library, take a screenshot, send them that book. Hey, make my cover like this. Model it. Now you have that cover while your book is still being formatted and edited and all of that. Take the cover, put it on Gumroad with a title. Gumroad will give you a link. They're not even going to charge you for the link. They only get paid when you get paid. So if you ain't selling, they ain't getting nothing.
Yeah, Gumroad is
If you
good.
selling, they gonna get some.
If you have
22 sales later, you got $1,000. You can send me 10%. It's all good.
Gumroad is real good, guys, if you're selling digital products or ebooks. So use that platform. It's very simple to use without a whole bunch of complicated pages. This is good.
So check this out, y'all. 47 times 3 is 141. So if you sell 3 of these, you've already made 3 figures podcasting. A lot of you guys said, you know what? I would be happy, Brendan, if I made $500, right? A lot of you guys said that. That means you're selling 10. 10 gets you 500. 22 gets you 1,000, right? Your first 4 figures with podcasting. Now, the reason why I say 22 is because 1,000 is a good number, right? $1,000 sounds nice. It's a nice round number. It's a good way, a good place for you to shoot from. All right, y'all with me? Can I move on? You need questions? Yeah, is this good? Is this good?
Corinne had a question, and I think yes is the answer to it. She wanted to know, is it okay to repurpose content from podcast guests? And I say yes, because you putting their word out there as well.
Yeah, 100%. You could definitely do that. Now, if you want to make sure that you have the permission, I'm gonna let you know. Already, if they come on your show, you own that. That's your intellectual property. You own that. However, if you want to tighten it up, you can have them sign a release form authorizing the complete usage of their audio likeness or the visual likeness, right? Their NIL, and then you're good to go. You can just Google a release form or get one for a trusted attorney, whatever you need to do. Hell is simple. You can put it together, or you can get a template. And that can give you that added protection that you can do what you need to do. All right.
Good question. Yep.
Let's go. Let's get crazy. Now, here's a couple of people that did it that are in my circle, right? Chandra made 1645 in 8 days. Ty made 1,021. Marcus made almost 3,000 in 30 days, right? Deanna made almost 4,042. Stacey made 1,081 in 26. Cisco didn't even believe me. He literally fought me, but when he took my advice, he made his first 1,000 in 24 days. So these are just a couple of people that did it, and they all pre-sold except for Deanna, because when I met her, she already had a physical book. So we just added a digital product to hers, and we actually tweaked her prices a little bit, right? So she was selling her digital product for 57, not 47. So she was able to math. The math was able to math a little bit faster for her.
And I'm glad you have real good numbers here, not like, hey, somebody made $50,000 in 3 minutes. So thank you for having bite-sized, manageable.
I want the numbers to be very tangible and achievable. And you can see these people that look just like us. They just took the action before you guys because they had access to the information before you guys. So we got a question from Marlena. Is it Marlena?
Marlena.
Okay, Marlena. What's up?
Hi. Okay, so I think my question, I hope this is not a dumb question, but
there's no dumb questions.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for saying that. So my question is basically, so when you take your most fire episode and you you put the cover on and you put it on to Gumroad, are you actually charging people for the episode, or are you is that like a link to your entire podcast is what they're paying for?
No. You're just taking one episode that you're like, yo, I went crazy. This guest was nuts. This information is crazy. You're taking that episode, that audio, turn it into a transcript. You're gonna turn that transcript into a book. or a digital asset.
Oh,
Now,
okay. Mhm.
So on Gumroad, they're just purchasing that. They're just purchasing the PDF version of that information.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not, they're not actually hearing my voice. It's like, it just kind of translates into words, into writing.
Yep.
Okay.
And you're gonna,
Okay. I understand.
yep. And a formatter on Fiverr is going to make it structured. So it would read like a book.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why the formatter is necessary so that it doesn't sound like
All over the place.
conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
not all over the place. Now, look, I got some questions for y'all. Do you believe now that I showed you digital products, would that increase the opportunity for you to generate revenue with your podcast? Drop a yes in the chat if you believe so. If you want to be successful with this strategy using digital products, do you commit to taking action? Drop a yes in the chat if you will take some action. And if you want results, when the best time to move? The best time to move was a minute ago, which means the best time to move is right now. Drop a now in the chat if you are going to take some action as soon as possible. All right. Now, you guys are one podcast away from changing your life. And those that already have a podcast, you might be one digital product away from changing your situation. All right. Are you guys ready to learn how to create a predictable and scalable revenue that you can count on? Who's ready to learn that? Drop it in the chat. Let me know. John, you could just put the word ready if you're ready. I like that. All right, here's secret number 2. Now, one of the most impactful ways to generate revenue with your podcast. This is one of my favorites. Shout out to Brandy. If she's in the building, she'll tell you why. Is with a monthly subscription, a paid community. The key here is understanding you don't need a huge audience. You just need an engaged one. You don't need a huge audience. You just need an engaged one. All right. Now, you don't need a lot of listeners, viewers, supporters. You just need the right listeners, viewers, and supporters. There will always be some of your audience that wants more access. So, a couple of questions here. You guys have experienced a little bit of me. Those that know me or see me or experienced me before, you guys kind of know how I flow. Those who are seeing me and experiencing me for the first time, if you had the ability to hang out with me a second time, how many of you guys would say yes to that? Based off of the energy, the information, how am I presenting? If you had an opportunity just to hang out with me for another 30 minutes, how many people would want to do that? Right? Drop a yes in the chat. Now, I'm saying that to say, if you said yes to me, that means there are people, when you have your podcast, that want a little bit extra. They want a little bit more. And they can't do that because you only have one way for them to experience your show. And that's the community way. I mean, not the community. That's the economy way. That's the everybody way, right? That's the wholesale way, pretty much. I can go on YouTube or I can go on Spotify, Apple, and listen to any show just like anybody else. Doesn't make a difference. There's no designation for that, right? But let me break this down. Who knows what this is? Who knows what this picture is right here? Drop it in the chat if you have any idea, if you've seen this before, if you experienced this for yourself.
Economy.
This is not a rhetorical question. This is a real life question. Drop it in the chat. Now, look, this is how everyone is experiencing your podcast. It's no shade. This is just how they're experiencing it. We can go on any podcast app right now. We can go on YouTube or any other platform, or we can listen to it or watch it like everybody else. Nothing special. It's going to be right there for us. And that's exactly how you get on a plane paying a regular fare. And again, there's no shade, but you guys knows that. Everyone knows that experience, right? It takes you longer to get to the bathroom. They might talk nice to you. You may be in the middle, hella uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? You got to wait a long time to get on the plane, get off the plane. It's just not the best way to experience it. Or there's this way to experience it. First class. How many people have been on first class or business class on a flight or on a train or bus? It's the premium experience. It's how people would like to experience your podcast, but maybe you just don't have that. So guess what? The ones that said they would spend more, that would want to spend more time with me, I have a way for you to do that. For those that have a podcast or are thinking about launching a podcast, you also need to think about, how can I create another experience to give people that want to go a little bit deeper with me the ability to go a little bit deeper with me, right? Look at him. Look at this dude. He's chilling. He's chilling, right? He's taking a nap. He got the blanket. He got the screen going. He got headphones. They're probably calling him Mister. You know what I'm saying? He probably got a tour the cockpit. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's chilling. And guess what? He can probably go to the bathroom anytime he wants because there's no line. And he got access to drinks if he wants. I'm pretty sure, right? So he's chilling. He's having a good time. This is how people want to experience your show. So if you are not creating an opportunity for them to do that, you are leaving money on the table. What am I talking about? I'm talking about offering a premium community, a premium experience, something that's not for everyone, but it's for those that it may be for. That's why I say you don't need a large audience. You just need an engaged one. You just need one that's tapped in. You just need one that likes your flow, right? So the Social Proof Podcast is a really good example of that. Those who have experienced or seen the Social Proof Podcast, you know that David Shan has a group called the Morning Meetup. And if you're familiar with the Morning Meetup, it's a subscription-based community where at this point, he has about north of 400 people that are in the community paying him $79 a month. When you do the math on that, that's $31,600. And if you do the math on $31,600 and you multiply that by 12, the man is making $379,000 annually from the podcast. But don't ignore the fact that he's making $31,000 a month from the show, 400 people. But not everybody. 400 of the right engaged people, the people that want to tap in. So think about this. A lot of you guys have seen podcasts, or maybe you have a show. You're like, man, only 100 viewers. Man, I wish I could get 10,000 to listen to my show. I wish I could get 5,000 to listen to my show. You don't need that many people tapped in. You just need 10 people tapped in. 20 people really tapped in. 5 people really tapped in. Let's do the math. So let's use David Shan's same monthly amount. Let's do 79 and let's multiply that by 10. That's 790. Well, let's multiply that by 12. Now your podcast is making $9,500. $9,500 from how many people? 10 people. You can confidently go on in. Listen, y'all, welcome back to another episode. I'm so excited to have you guys here. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about XYZ. And I want to give a huge shout out to my premium community. Love you guys. Listen, for the after show, we're going to go a little bit deeper for you guys. And listen, if you guys are interested in joining the premium community, click the link below or in the show notes or DM me the word XYZ. We would love to have you. Grow your community. Grow a community of engaged, targeted people that want to be a part. Not everybody. Forget 1,000 views. Get 10 people that want to rock with your show, that really want to get a little bit intimate with you, right? And those that said that they would spend a little bit of time with me, there's people out there that want to spend a little bit more time with you too. All right, now, give value and build real community with your podcast listeners and monetize your experience, right? This is the way, right? Community is the thing right now. People want access. They want opportunity. They want to have conversations. You guys are in Lorie's community. As a result, I'm here. Guess what? The ones that are not here, that's because they ain't in the community. It's a perfect example. Now, let's go back a little bit. The key is understand that you don't need a huge audience. You just need an engaged one. 100 tapped in viewers, if 10% of them converted, that's 10 people. If your community is $97 a month, that's $970 a month. What if it's $47 a month? That's $470 a month, right? So that turns into $11,640 a year, or $5,740, $5,640 a year, just from a community of 10 people, right? Hold on, I gotta switch this real quick. Make sure the laptop getting enough juice. So who feels like with their show that they got right now that they could get 10 people to pay them a subscription? Drop it in the chat. And if you don't have a show right now, do you feel more confident that once you launch your show, you can at least get 10 people to rock with you at some point? How many people feel like if you just launched a show, you can get at least 1 to 2 people to rock with you that first 30 days? That's annual revenue right there from 2 people. recurring revenue. So you guys are familiar with Amazon Prime, Netflix, Gold's Gym, or any gym. This is just subscription-based revenue, right? You're already paying it out. It's time for you to get some back in, right? Now that you've seen this, who believes, and be honest, who believes that subscriptions will increase your opportunity to generate revenue with your podcast? Drop it in the chat. Let me see a yes. If you want to be successful with subscription, when do you commit to taking action? Drop a now in the chat, right? And if you want these results, are you moving now or what are you doing? Right? Drop it now in the chat right there too. Are there any questions about secret number 2? Lorie, let me know.
Not yet.
All right, either I'm doing a good job or I'm doing a good job.
Doing an amazing job. Keep it going.
Are you guys ready to learn a super underutilized and seldom used strategy to monetize your podcast? Drop a yes in the chat if you're ready to learn that. I want to break something down to y'all. This next secret is not as easy as the other two, but once you understand it, you'll get it, right? Right? So listen, most people interview their guests, right? Guest as the guest, and hope that magically they're going to monetize their podcast based solely on their listenership, while hoping that brand deals are going to magically fall from the sky, or they're going to get magic DMs or magic emails, people wanting to give them money. But what if you could have your podcast monetized before anyone hears your next episode? Because the people that come on your show that you're interviewing, what if they pay you? And I'm not talking about them paying to come on this show, right? What am I talking about? Secret number 3. Now, a little known secret to monetize your show is called reverse pitching. Reverse pitching. Here's the breakdown. There's 2 parts. Tap into part 1 and part 2. Now, part 1 is an application. Part 2 is a VIP package. Now, if you currently have a product or service, you can reverse pitch your products. If you don't have a product or service, you can reverse pitch other people's products through affiliate marketing or some type of incentivized commission-based offer. All right, now let's break down the application. The best way to do this is through a link for them to sign up to your show. So you want to have a link, which is a special application for them to register for the podcast. So you want to create a link. You can use Google Forms, Typeform, or Jotform. These are all digital ways for you to have a form so they can sign up. Now, the opening statement on a form could be, hey, listen, this is a free podcast that's sponsored by your business. Insert your business in there. Where we help, this is an example, where we help insert your offer. So I'm going to use mine. We help people grow their brands through podcast guesting and position them as experts in the industry, allow them to grow their audience and increase their revenue. So my question on that application is, do you want to learn more? All I did was pre-frame them on my offer that I currently sell to other clients. And now you have a warmed up client that's coming on your show to give hella value and hella game. And you're asking them indirectly if they could be of interest of your product or service. So they're either going to say yes, no, or maybe. But guess what? All of these answers start a conversation, which is all that you need to do to then follow up and get a little bit more information why they're a good fit, why they think they may or may not be a good fit, and they want more information, or why they think they're not be a good fit, but they may actually be a good fit, but they may just answer that question quickly to just get through the application. But you guys created a conversation. That's what you want to do. The next step is calendar. Have them book themselves in the calendar, right? Then we offer them the jugular. This is the best part right here. This is the VIP package. So if you guys been to any of your favorite spot for burgers and fries, and they're like, yo, would you like to upsize or you want the combo? What are they talking about? Drop it in the chat. What is the upsize? What is the combo? Who knows? If we're going to get burgers and fries and they're like, yo, do you want the upsell? You want the combo? What are they asking you? Right? Lori's doing it right now. What are they asking you? Here, cheat code. Cheat code. Here's a cheat code. What are they asking you? They're asking if you want a drink. Now, a drink is not a hard sell. You're already buying food. You're going to be thirsty either right now or at some point in the future. So it's the same thing with the VIP package. They're coming on the show. What do they want? They want clips for social media. They would love a commercial insert in your podcast. They would love it if you email blast your people about their products and service. They would love it if you text message blast. They would love it if you had another opportunity for them to talk about their product and service by going live. And they would love it if you would promote them via an affiliate offer so you guys could both break bread. They actually may already have an affiliate offer already set up. And what if you could do all of this and it's just $500? Are y'all with me? What if it was $400? What if it was $300? Right? You could edit yourself. I don't recommend it. I would go back to Fiverr. I would pay someone $80, $100 to edit the clips. You present the clips with your full edited podcast like they ordered it from you. You get paid. You have the show. They get the assets. You made some money. They love you. It's done and done, right? How easy would that be? And it's not a hard sell because they want content. Everyone, how many people right here will love content? If you want some content, drop content in the chat. If you could use some content, if you want to post tomorrow, drop content in the chat. If you're just like, damn, I wish I had something to post this week, drop content in the chat. If you know you need some content, drop the word content in the chat. So with the VIP packages, what if you had 4 uploads a month and you had $500 VIP packages? That's an extra $2K. What if it was $750? It's an extra $3K. What if it was $1,000? It's an extra $4K. What if your podcast VIP package was $250? That's an extra $1,000. What if only 25% of people took the offer? That's only 1 sale a month. That's extra money. Are you guys feeling me? Do you understand how this works? And you reverse pitch them on your main product. What if they want to take that too? What if your main product is coaching and they could use a coach in that particular category? What if your main product is, I don't know, editing, or like Brainy teaches piano and they want that for their child or whatever? So now you made a sale on the front end for whatever product you currently have. And then you made a sale on the back end because they actually need content. Do y'all understand this? Do y'all get this? Do you see how this could be helpful, right? If you believe that you can use this strategy, reverse pitching, to increase the opportunity for you to generate revenue with your podcast, drop a yes in the chat. And if you want to be successful with using this strategy, will you commit to taking action? Drop a yes in the chat. And if you want these results, when would be the best time for you to move, right? Drop that now in the chat. If you feel like now would be the best time for you to move, all right? Now, who now, just with those 3 strategies alone, can see it's possible to make $10,000 in 12 months with a podcast? Who believes that's feasible? Before, you probably didn't even think that was feasible at all. It may have been something that you didn't even fathom. But I just broke down 3 strategies to get you there. You can make this on digital products alone. You could do this on subscriptions. Let's just do the math real quick, right? 103 people paying you $97 is $10K a month. That's $120,000. There's over 100 people in the world right now that want access to whatever your specialty is. You just got to find them. They're looking for you too, right? Now, who believes it's possible to make at least 20? Can you make at least 20? Does 20 sound feasible? Drop the 20 in the chat. If you drop the 10 in the chat, you feel like you make 20, drop a 20 in the chat. All right, here's the math. So you believe you can make 20, you believe you make 10. Here's a path to 100K. 4 packages, not 4 a month, just 4. 44 subscriptions, that's a month. You make 44 sales, you get this money a month. 4 digital products, that's not a month, that's just 40. 84 sales could gross you $8,236, right? If you keep it up, it would be a month, but this is just gross. And that would bring you $98,000 a year. At the very least, if you only sold 4 packages and didn't sell no more after that. If you only sold 40 digital products and didn't sell nothing after that, but you were able to sell 44 subscriptions and you were bringing in $4,356, you multiply that by 12, $4,356, and you multiply that by 12, your podcast is bringing in $50,000. 44 sales. Are y'all with me? Y'all with me?
This is good. This is good. You guys there?
So your first 50K, 44 subs on your subscription, your premium access offer, that first class of your podcast. That's 3 or 4 sales a month. 3 to 4 sales a month. This is if you're not even going crazy. You're like, yeah, I can sell 4 things in a month. That's $97. I could do that. $99. I could do that. If you believe you can do that, drop a me in the chat. Lorie, count up the me's. I would really appreciate that. If you believe you could sell 44 things this year, which is 3 or 4 a month, drop a me in the chat, because that means you believe that you can make 50K. And I asked you earlier, with $500, you feel good with that. Now I asked you again, could you make 10? You said, yeah. Asked you if you could make 20. You confidently say, yeah. 44 sales can get you 50,000. You may be on this call right now. Maybe your main job is not getting you 50. And maybe your main job is getting you just over that. You can use your platform and your voice to generate an extra 50K, add it on top of your main job, or maybe you're able to leave your job with the power of your voice. You just continue to build. Who believes it's really possible to make 50K in the next 12 months? Drop a me in the chat. Who's ready to learn why 90% of podcasters never truly scale? This is game, y'all. This is game right here. I mean, you probably felt like I went crazy already. It ain't over. This is game. Check this out. Secret number 4. It's time to stop operating your podcast casually as a side hustle, a hobby, or something that you do sometimes, right? It's time that you position it as a media business, because that's what it is. If you didn't know, now you know. This will allow you to pay for equipment, pay for recording, studio access, pay for travel, software, hardware, hire a virtual assistant, production assistant, get access to capital, create leverage, get access to funding, and so much more. What is he talking about if you don't already know? I know you're probably wondering why. How do I do this? Well, you're able to do this by positioning your podcast as a business. And these are the steps, right? Get a business address, business number. You can screenshot this. Get a professional email, get incorporated, LLC, get an EIN, get your DUNS, get your UEI number, right? Set up your business on Google so you're Googleable. Set up a business bank account, right? Set up a merchant account. How can they pay you, right? Set up your business NAV, right? Which basically is your business credit score, so you can monitor it yourself. Maybe you want to be more advantageous and start generating some trade lines from the jump. These are some places you can go get it for $11.99. Biz Credit Central will report that you got $2,500 of available credit. Business Incredible will report for $9.95 that you got $2,500 of available credit, right? The Red Spectrum will report for $54.99 that you got $2,500 of available credit. Credit Strong for $100 to $115, they will report that you have access to available business credit. You're going to use these strategies to generate some momentum so you can position your podcast to be a media business that's going to give you access to funding and business credit in the form of business credit cards. Now you can use your business credit card leverage you just created to get your show out there more, right? Write off your situation. Now it's a business. It's not just something that you do sometime casually. This is something that you were able to utilize and leverage to bring down your tax bracket, to write off everything that you invested in your show, all your equipment, your software, your hardware, your lights, your clothes, right? Whatever your laptop, whatever you're using, your car payment, because maybe you're gonna advertise your podcast on your vehicle, whatever you want to do. Now that you've seen this, who believes that positioning my podcast will give me leverage opportunity? And as a media business, it will increase my opportunity to generate revenue. And if you want to create this type of revenue with business credit opportunities, with your media business, will you commit to taking action? Drop a yes in the chat if you will commit to taking action. And if you want results, when's the best time for you to move on these results? It was a couple of minutes ago. So the best time to move would be right now, right? Let me know if there's any questions, right? As we go through the takeaways. One of the biggest opportunities to generate revenue with a podcast is with a digital product. I showed you how you can easily repurpose an episode and you can pre-sell it and make money right now. 22 sales is $1,000. We then talked about how you can have a premium access model, paid community, create monthly revenue, and 10 people can make you $1,000 a month. Now you already went to making $1,000 a month to making close to $12,000 a year. 10 people. We talked about reverse pitching, which is a high-level strategy. Leveraging the opportunity for people to guest on your show and re-pitching them to an offer that you already have and making sure they have the VIP package that they definitely want, right? And then we talked about positioning your podcast as a media business, which is going to give you access to leverage and capital. And for those that have good credit, guess what? If you got good personal credit, you can get access to business credit even faster, right? So podcasting is estimated to be a $100 billion industry by 2028. And as I said earlier, there's so much room for you. Now, the reality is, even if you use a tiny fraction of the information that we covered today, don't you feel like you took a larger leap forward to achieving financial freedom or at least generating some revenue with your podcast? If you believe that, drop a yes in the chat, right? And I don't know what you knew about podcasting before, but would it be safe to say that with the information that I covered today, it was valuable? Was it valuable? Did you learn something? Will you be able to actually take this information and implement it? Now, here's a couple of screenshots. So these are actually screenshots of some sales from my digital products. You can see the numbers are a little bit different because I have some upsells in there, some cross sells in there. So, $47 to $162, right? Here's a couple of sales from my monthly community, right? $99 a month. I had a sale in there that was $149 because they took an additional offer. Here is an example of a basic reverse pitching application. This would be in a link. You can see I'm getting contact information, which is extremely important. I got my pre-framing question at the bottom, right? Here's an example of the end of the link where they can pay you right on the link. They can book in the calendar on the link and they can pay you if they want that upsell, literally from the link. And here's a couple of screenshots for some of those reverse pitching sales, right? Very easy, right? You guys can do it too. Here's actually a screenshot from one of my clients who took it a step further. He actually branded his VIP offer. How cool does that look? And he sent me over a screenshot of a text that he had with a client. And look at that. Sounds good. Let's do it. And he charged $550 for it. So he made $550 before the episode even aired using a VIP package offer. Right? Now, who, just through all this information I shared, who's been calculating their profits? Like, yo, I know I can do this. That 10K don't seem far-fetched. That 50K seems possible. That 1,000 I feel like I can do before the end of the month, right? Drop a me in the chat if that's you. Now, look, digital media, podcasting, or even Netflix, it's the same thing. It's recession-proof. People want to be entertained. They want to be informed. They want education. So you can be comfortable with knowing that if you actually spend time here, there is a massive opportunity here for you. All right. So far we covered 4 powerful strategies, 4 powerful secrets, right? Digital products, paid communities, VIP packages, turning your podcast into a media business. We talked about all that. I showed you how you can get 5 to 6 figures in 12 months, right? Has this training been good? Drop it in the chat. Have you learned something? Has it been valuable? Are you going to be able to take something and run with it and generate some revenue? Are you going to be able to upgrade your show? Do you feel more confident starting a show now? Right? Do you feel more comfortable with your ability to make money with your podcast? Was it worth that digital 5K you sent me? Was it worth it? I think it was worth it. But y'all can let me know. Y'all can be honest. If it wasn't worth it, you can say, man, this is only worth it.
You guys come off mute for a second because I need to see some energy because that 5K that y'all virtually spent was definitely worth it. Was it worth it?
Let me know.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Check cleared.
So now, who believes it's really possible to make at least 50K with a podcast in 12 months, in the next 12 months, if you believe it's really possible, right? So I'm confident that you could take the information that we covered today, you can run these plays. And I'm certain that if you take it and run these plays left to your devices, You could do it. I know that you could do it. But what if there was another opportunity and we can actually do it together? Would you feel more confident, right, that you have the information to get over this bridge? And what if I was able to kind of walk with you? Would you feel more confident to get over this bridge? Who feels like if I was with them, just off of what you learned today, and we could talk a little bit longer, we can go a little bit deeper, that you can get over this bridge, you can feel more confident. You can fill in this gap a little bit better. If that's you, drop it me in the chat. Because what I would like to do is, I have a 5-day challenge at the end of the month. So 5 days, you've already got 2 hours of information or an hour and a half of information. What if we could spend 5 days going a little bit deeper over these concepts and more? Break down the strategy, show you how to take your podcast to the next level, whether you're a seasoned podcaster or looking to launch your show for the first time. You can do it with more confidence. Right? Day one, we're going to plan your show. Concepts, your show flow, book your guests, software, and equipment. We'll break it all down in detail. Day two, we're going to launch your show, talk about pre-launching strategies, planning and execution, strategizing, how to build that inertia, that momentum, set up your 4 Ps, your post-podcasting promo strategy, because a lot of people post in hope. I got a new episode, and I'm not going to let nobody know, and I hope 1,000 people find my episode. So we're going to set up your 4 Ps. Day 3, we're going to talk about systems, community, right? Email and text marketing, visibility. Day 4, monetize your show, digital products, continuity, lead generation, offers that are available, your value ladder, different monetization options. How many people would like to know over 25 ways to monetize your show, right? That type of information. Day 5, media business, business structure, tax formation, business credit, leverage, mobile pod, and get paid. I mobile pod all the time. It's one of my favorite things. I love going to people's spaces or hotels and, just different places to have background that I can pull that energy and have my show. And what if you could do that and get paid for it? Or just write off everything that you invested in, right? So for those that are interested, I want you to be at VIP, right? Spend 5 days with me live. Take advantage of the super drippy pre-party that we're going to have on that Sunday. It's super drippy. Same type of flow. I'm going to go crazy. And I'm going to bring a special guest. That's going to be before we start. So we're really going to have 6 days with me. You have an hour every day for the Q&A VIP session just for my VIPs. Access to the Paid to Podcast private group. Grow your podcast confidently. Learn the strategies that will pay for your time and effort that you invest. Learn to launch a paid community and create recurring revenue, which is one of my favorite, plus so much more. So if you guys, first of all, if you enjoyed today, definitely let me know. And if you're interested in joining the 5-day challenge, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to drop the link below. It's $297, 5 days. And if you enjoyed today, you already know it's well worth it for you to be a part of this 5-day challenge. January 30th to February 3rd, plus the super drippy VIP virtual party. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have access to that. And if you, like I said, if you already have a show, you're going to take it to the next level. If you don't have a show, you can start it confidently now. Maybe you had a little bit of anxiety. Maybe you weren't really sure what software to use. Maybe you've been talking about doing it since the fall of 2022 and you still haven't got it going. Well, now is the time, right? If you have any questions, now would be the time. You can ask me about the super drippy VIP party. You can ask me about all the information on the days, what the experience is going to be like. You can ask me about my show. Or maybe there's some information you just want to kind of go a little bit deeper about what we covered. You could feel like you can ask me right now. I would love to answer. So come off the mute or drop it in the chat. There has to be some questions. There's no questions that are, not good questions to ask. You can ask me whatever you would like to ask.
Yo, hello.
Hey, what's going on? Is Jason?
Jerry, yeah.
Oh, Jerron, what's up, bro? How are you doing? Jerry.
I'm good. Yeah. Man, look, okay. people have been on me for the last 15 days about what I was doing, and there needed to be a podcast because I was creating an app. I was trying to create an app and a newsletter.
Yeah.
And I just been like, monetize. I couldn't get over to monetize. And the only thing I was thinking about monetizing was I come from a print background, information graphics and whatever. And I was trying to create a digital product, like an annual report. And then also maybe do some merchandising, like based off of my content. So my content is basically music analytics for the R&B. And I've been creating playlists on Spotify. So I backed up off of the idea of doing a podcast because I didn't want to get into that copyright deal. Like I just said, Anchor allows you to do it.
Yeah.
So I saw an example of it and I'm like, okay, I might be able to do it. So I was planning it, and I know that, if you start this, you can't pull off because of consistency. And every time I tell people my concept, they're like, that is the dopest crap I ever heard, the way you thinking about it. And I'm like, should I start a podcast? And I'm like, so it's like now it's in my mind, basically listening to you, is that the podcast is gonna have to supersede the app and then go into it. And I'm just sitting here just like, it's messing me up right now, because I need to get started and it's a lot. So it's just right now I've just been blown away. I'm got a good delivery, good content to make it simple, man. I just want to compliment you and Lorie and talk to you all more about my concept in detail. And I just appreciate it, man.
I'm very grateful for your comments. That idea, just with a little bit that I've heard, sounds like a really great one. It sounds like a banging idea. And just to kind of give you a little bit more on that, you can actually, with the app idea, you can post snippets of the show. Like, let's say your show is 30 minutes or 40 minutes, whatever. You can post publicly a 5 to 10 minute show. Then you can have the full show available on an app. They have to pay you to get access to that app. That's a whole nother thing we ain't talking about.
Oh my God, hold on. It's funny you said about the 5 to 10 minute app, because if I was to approach that, I'm gonna just throw this out there to everybody. Everybody needs to research VoiceFlow. VoiceFlow is a platform that creates Amazon skills. So if you, like you said, you can create a little 5-minute thing and apply it to your Amazon skill and then lead that to your full subscribe podcast or whatever. So when you said the 5-minute thing, I was like, that went back to that because I was also thinking about doing the podcast in like many things. Like somebody say, hey, Alexa, what are the blah, blah, blah for the day? And they say, well, this song is this and that, blah, 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 like that. So
yeah, 100%, man. Well, I would love to have you in a challenge as a VIP. We can talk a little bit deeper about it, and we can make sure that you set up by the end of the week, man. We got 6 days together, so a lot can happen in 6 days. So if you feel like it's a good fit for you,
I will be there.
And if you feel like if it's a good fit for you and you want to be in a building, we'd love to have you in it, man. Like I said, that's a great idea, and I can see it having a lot of legs.
Right. And I think one of the great things that he had said from the beginning, Jerron, was don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Just do it. Because as much time as you're thinking about, well, let me do it. Should I? What do you have to lose? Somebody's waiting to hear your message. So get it out there. Be purposeful. Make sure you're serving from the heart, and then make sure that you're just put a plan together. But I think you will see some benefit definitely from that. So you can put it all together.
Hold on. Can I do something right quick? I'm gonna tell y'all, like I this was really on my mind, so it's interesting that I'm on this. Okay, I'm gonna read you all the intro for the podcast. It's short.
Yeah,
Greetings, ladies and gents, and welcome to the show. This is the Jamcast, and I am your host, J. Anthony Clark. Here we are, folks. The year is 2023, and I'm so excited that you have decided to join us on this sonic adventure into what we at the Jam Facts Initiative has deemed as the Future Soul Movement. In our first episode, we just let's just say we'd like to go back to the future while listening to the top 12 jams from our curated playlist of 2022, according to their streaming out on the Spotify platform. So let us begin with the hold up, number 12 position, blah, 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 blah.
You got it. You already got it. Don't give away all your secrets, but you have the formation. You just need to get everything. You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll be on the challenge, yes?
We're gonna look into doing that.
Okay. All right. That's gonna put it all together, though. I'm glad you shared that. And somebody else needs to hear that as far as should I do it? Because that's one of the things that I was fighting with for a long time too. So someone needs to hear your message. And as soon as you keep remembering that, then you will get it done.
Yeah, 100%.
You got it done. Thank you for sharing that.
Let me see who had a question about
Lenise said something about the time.
Yeah.
I've seen some of them go for 2 minutes.
Yeah,
I've seen some podcasters make a huge impact for 2 minutes. I've seen some go for an hour or two. So it's really up to which flavor do you want to put out there to the public.
Yeah, and don't let the time be a deterrent of you starting either. You know what I mean? Like that, I wouldn't even worry about that. You can have a show that's 10 minutes and the next one could be 5. And it's like episode 2 was bite-sized because you're figuring out as you go as well. Remember, you want to avoid 7 and 15. That's the podcast graveyard. So maybe you're just figuring out until you get to there and you're testing and refining. And then by the time you get to episode 25, you're like, so I got this. My show's 45 minutes in and out. I'm gonna book an hour, 15 minutes, set up, breakdown. The guest is gonna be here. This is all I need. I could do the whole show in an hour, 15 minutes.
Y'all are already on Zoom, so utilize Zoom for what you already have. Record some content. So if you start overthinking, what am I gonna say? You have the screen. You can talk right to yourself. And if you got a topic, Lenise helps caretakers and nurses make money at home, right? So if she picks the topic on Sunday, and she said, you know what, I'm gonna do 5 topics right here. 5 bite-sized pieces of conversation, and I'm going to do that right here. You get right on Zoom, get yourself together, get some bullet points of what you're going to talk about, and then you go record it. All right? Don't worry about making it all perfect. That comes later. I think you need that Oprah moment where you have that before picture and what it looks like. Get it out there and then upload it to one of your choice places, and then just start getting it out there. One of the things I wanted to mention,
100%.
I'm sure you will talk more about this, is about affiliate marketing. I wanted to at least talk about affiliate marketing. Is one of the things that I love. I love affiliate marketing. I love network marketing. And I want you to notice a lot of the people that are on YouTube right now, that is a video podcast. That is a video podcast that they're doing. So if they're speaking about real estate, if they're talking about boats or nursing, they're giving topics about something. And then they may mention, hey, by the way, if you want to get this camera or if you want to get this microphone, check the description link, check the link to the camera that I was using in my video down below. So if you were thinking about this year of just talking about any subject, you understand that network marketing or affiliate marketing is going to be your best thing, where you could silently sell your services or things that you use on a regular basis right from your page. So a lot of people are making lots of money just from affiliate marketing through their YouTube page as well.
Can I add on that? How many people right now, by show of hands or in the chat, shop on Amazon?
I think we all do.
Is that everybody?
We all do.
Check this out. You can go to Amazon. Some of you guys may already have this, but if you don't, do this tonight. Go to Amazon. Open up an Amazon Associates account. When you have that open, then open up an Amazon storefront. It's your store. It's your Amazon storefront. Now, everything that you bought, you can literally just go right to your orders. What did you buy the last 12 months? Take all of those items that you already bought, put them inside of your Amazon storefront. Mm-hmm. Now you got your own link to Amazon that you can use in your podcast, which is like Lorie said, now you're taking that affiliate marketing to the next level, because not only are you able to affiliate market and offer other people products, mm-hmm. you're literally just offering everyone the exact same thing that you bought. Right. What if all your podcast equipment that you bought is now on your Amazon storefront?
That's it.
What if everything that you bought for the house, Amazon storefront?
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
take that link. Hey guys, look, welcome back to the show. Before we get into it, I just want you guys to know, if you want to know exactly what I use for this, click the link below. Check out my Amazon storefront and get access to what I'm using in real time. They
And
will
it goes
click
right
that-
back to the episode. He's
right
talking
back to the
about whatever
episode.
he's talking about. So
Yeah.
there's some things you have to not
Yes.
worry about affiliate marketing being so tough and so hard that you have to figure out what way can I offer this where people will be attracted to it.
And all y'all could do that right now, and it doesn't cost you anything
Nothing.
to do that.
Nothing.
For those that don't have a product, you're like, I don't know. I know Brendan said the digital product is easy, but I still have questions because I'm not ready to go. The subscription sounds cool and everything, but I think I might need a little bit to get into it. The reverse pitching, it sounds a little advanced. I don't know if I'm ready to get into it. You can start with an Amazon storefront.
Selling other people's stuff.
You can sell other people's stuff, or you can have an Amazon storefront that has products that you want for yourself that you have yet to buy. Put that in your storefront. Other people can buy it. You can generate commissions off of that and then use that and buy it for yourself.
I'm doing that. Thank you. My gym for the day.
So Amazon Associates account.
I wanted to welcome anybody who's not already inside my community. If we haven't met officially, I am Lorie Woodruff, real estate entrepreneur and business coach. I help realtors and entrepreneurs monetize their brand online. So for those that need social media content, they need help with boosting their appearance online. That's what I do. So I'm going to drop the link inside the chat box here. So tomorrow, I'm going to be doing a free marketing class because some of us need to get back to basics and we need to figure out what is it going to take in order to get to this next level. So normally every Tuesday, I run a free class to help you build your business in some capacity. And I appreciate all of you guys that have, come. We have guests like Brendan who come and share their knowledge, not something that I can speak on. So that is every Tuesday. But tomorrow I'm doing a special deep dive into marketing 101, so that those that need help with getting their message on social media, I'll be doing that free course tomorrow at 7 p.m. So I will drop the link in here. So if you need to get that registration started so we can get introduced to my community, Unleash the Entrepreneur, I will see you guys tomorrow.
100%. So if anyone is planning on coming to the 5-day paid to podcast challenge, let me know in the chat. Lorie can drop the link again. I would love to have you there. And let's get your show going crazy for 2023.
I love the fact that you gave things that weren't on a huge level. People start seeing numbers like you can make $50,000 next week. Like we're in a different time right now, and you have to give a lot of value, you guys, in order to have that trust from someone. So Brendan gave a lot of information for the past hour and a half. So I want you to think about that is the information you can at least get off your butt and get started with something. The next step is investing in yourself to figure out the how. He gave you the what. He gave you the when you should do it, but he's also going to show you at the end of the month, how are you going to put all this together? Because then it's just going to be 2024 and 2025. We're still talking about, I should start this podcast. And you haven't done it yet. So make sure you invest in yourself. It's only $297. I will be dropping that in there. And if you're looking at the replay, make sure that you are checking that out and stay connected to his page as well. Drop your IG.
Yeah. So really quick, I want to give you guys a gift, right?
More?
If you go to my Instagram, which is It's Brendan Boyd, right? Go to my Instagram. DM me the word growth, right? A link will pop up. Click the link that says podcast monetization. You'll get a free download of 25 ways to monetize your podcast. My gift to you, just go on Instagram. Now, if you want to really show your appreciation for me, whether you're coming to the challenge or not, if you go to my YouTube and hit that subscribe button, I would really appreciate that as well. I drop 2 to 3 videos every week, including a podcast and content to help you grow, marketing or your podcast, right? I would really appreciate that. Lanice said, I'm grateful and thankful for, yeah, I'm grateful. I'm grateful and thankful for you being here and sticking around.
Yeah, Lanice, for example, she quit her job. So now she's focusing just on nurses and caretakers to help them make money at home. So Lanice, I was thinking about you during this episode where I'm thinking, how are you going to get your message out to other nurses? How are you going to get your message out to other caretakers? They will find you if you put your message out there. So just on Facebook or Instagram, sure, they can find you there, but there's another group of people that are online just listening to audio. So just think about some gems that you can also put in a audio form where you can also speak to nurses and caretakers on the audio side. So I'm just giving you some abundance. You don't have to do a lot, you guys. There's not a lot of things that you have to do. And if you focus on, there's one thing I want to do this year, and as I want to be more visual, want to be more present online. If you just focused on upping your presence on social media, just a little bit more than what you did. And then if you also started your podcast, just say 2023, I'm just going to commit to that. You're just going to commit and watch. The numbers that Brendan gave you were pretty bite-sized pieces that you don't need thousands of people to like and subscribe to your information. You just need to commit to starting the podcast and just start working with him at the end of the month to get some more ways to monetize your message.
Maybe you're like, I want to hear this again. Guess what? Next Sunday, I'm going to do it again. So if you want to hear the same information again, maybe, you're going to be in a different position. Maybe you want to bring a friend. Come on in, right? You're going to have the opportunity to go live again. I'm doing this workshop every Sunday until the 5-day challenge. So, pull on up. But if you feel like there would be a good opportunity for you to join a VIP and come to the 5-day challenge, like I said, use our link above. We would love to have you in there. If you are in the LA area, I have a live in-person event on the 28th. So you could come to that. Brandy came to the last one. She could tell you how it was. Like she can tell you how the last one was. You can come to that if you're in the LA area. I do a live event every month. So
I love it. Well, we're making big strides in 2023. So don't overcomplicate things, you guys. Just focus on what is your message, who can you serve, and then just start working on 1 or 2 ways. You need a coach. You need some kind of mentorship in front of you to put this together. Everything can't be free 99. So you can only go but so far. So if you do need to connect with Brendan, you need to connect with myself in reference to putting ideas, social media content together, then make sure you got us. You got us here, and everything will be definitely put together in the description replay for tomorrow.
Yeah, Brandy hates me bragging on her, but she made some bread last month.
Brandy made bread.
She made some good bread last month. Can I tell him what you made, Brandy?
Yeah, tell him. You can tell him. You can brag.
Brandy, give her brags.
Brandy made basically she just shy of like $8,000 last month.
Man, that sounds like a few bills could be knocked off.
Yeah, and she would have made the 10, but she got a little sick last month, so she had to take a couple of days off.
Congrats, Brandy.
But right, she applied the information off an investment that she made. And not only did she get her money back, she positioned herself to generate way more money from that investment because she actually used that paid community strategy. Mm-hmm. And the thing about that is she already had a community, right? I just came in there and I gave her some information, strategy. She doubled up she charges people $169 a month. Mm-hmm. I just said $99. Right. She charged them $169. She got almost 24 people paying $169 a month. If you guys could do the math on that, $169 a month times 24, that's $4,000 just from that.
Brandy, what's your industry?
I teach music. I teach piano.
See? Everybody on here is not teaching piano, right?
She's teaching piano virtually.
That's crazy. Virtually. That is crazy.
And she's making $4K a month just off of one of the offers.
Oh, wow. So no excuses, you guys. No excuses. Focus on that one thing this year. Start that podcast. Stop playing. Congrats, Brandy. Congrats.
Thank you.
All right, so let's wrap
I
things
be bragging
up.
on her all the time. I'm gonna make her comfortable now to talk about money.
I want to wrap things up, and I want to ask you a couple of personal questions, Brandon, so people can really get to know you a little bit more. You ready?
Let's do it.
What's your favorite movie?
Coming to America.
That was good. All right. What's your favorite food?
Spaghetti.
Easy. Favorite vacation?
My favorite vacation probably be my next one. So it'll be probably Hawaii or Colombia.
Okay. What's your favorite place where you want to live?
That's probably out the United States of America.
I know that's right. I'm thinking Dubai is looking real good right now.
Yeah, for sure. I just seen somebody buy some. Honestly, you know what? Our friend really convinced me to think about Mexico as well, which is super close. But she got something really crazy in Mexico. And she actually became a Mexican citizen. So she showed me that she could do it. So I'm like, maybe.
I'm out of here soon, so I can't do it. But anyway, back to you. What makes you laugh?
What makes me laugh? That's a great question. I make myself laugh a lot, to be honest with you.
Good.
So I'm gonna say me.
On the flip side, what makes you angry?
Oh, it takes a lot to get me angry. But I can give you this. What makes me aggravated? Let's do that. I don't like people that have like really weird communication styles. Like I'd rather you just say what's on your mind. Like,
right.
You know, if
I
gotta pull it from you, I would rather not.
All right. So the last question is, you can't go a day without blank.
Reading.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah.
He's the personal development king. You know what I mean? You got to put all that together. Sometimes it's good to know all the facts, but knowing all the real Brendan is.
I had them questions ready.
He didn't know any of those questions.
He didn't test me beforehand. I just had these ready.
Perfect. All right, you guys have been amazing. Brendan, thank you so much. You guys know how to get in touch with both of us. I hope to see all of you guys January 30th at the 5-day challenge. And I mean,
no, January 29th for the Super VIP.
I'm sorry, they got to get started on the 29th.
Super Tribute VIP party. Let's go crazy, y'all.
Right.
But yeah, 100%. Use that link, join the 5-day challenge, or at least save the link and share it with somebody that you feel like would be perfect for them. We would love it for you guys to be there, and let's use this month to really launch your show and take that to the next level. The last thing I would like to say to you is that don't wait. Whatever you got going on, don't think that you have a year. Like Brandy will tell you, I just did a training in my action takers over the weekend. You don't have a year. Give yourself less time to get things accomplished, and you will accomplish more.
Yeah.
So don't say, hey, it's brand new year. I'm gonna get going in June. June looking nice. June gonna be here. It's already the 3rd, y'all. Right. So give yourself less time. Give yourself half of the time that you anticipate that you are going to take to do something. Give yourself half of that time and get it done in less time, and then use that extra time to get something else done.
Yeah, think about what you know. Think about what you know. Like Brandy is helping a creative side of a youngster, right? They're helping them stay creative, stay busy in the household. What if she didn't have that course? What if she didn't have that subscription every month? What would happen to that one child, that one young adult? So you have to start thinking, if I don't deliver X, who's going to fall behind because I'm not delivering it? So that's how I work with everything. So if that's the way that you can think, not so much about your head, but get it through your heart to figure out, who can I serve? How can I best help the next person so that they're not behind, so they're not losing money, so they're not losing this piece of information that they need to get better? Then that will help you get off and get it done. All right, you guys, we are out. I'll see you guys prayerfully. I'll see many of you tomorrow, and I'll see you at the end of the month, Brendan.